you will remember that that particular riot was marked by a murderous call to Taliban-style kangaroo justice, which shook the entire nation. We all heard it. Let me play out some visuals for you on the side of your screens. You will remember the assemblage of thousands and thousands and thousands on the night of 16th April in Hubballi, in Karnataka. This war cry to behead a man deemed to be blasphemous pierced the night. Listen to it once again, because we're going to reveal the entire story behind who issued this call for vengeance, and most of all, who also tried to cover this entire incident up. This particular call, etched in your minds, viewers, it still resounds in our ears. Tonight on Times Now, we will reveal how this was not spontaneous, but a meticulously planned attack by individuals who live in this area, including those that are linked to a prominent political party, the AIMIM. Times Now will expose how the plan wasn't just to surround the police, exact revenge from a man who was unilaterally declared guilty of blasphemy, but also intimidate the state to hand over the man so that the mob could behead him. Yes, viewers, could behead him. First, let's establish who was behind the call to mobilize the mob. Times Now's candid camera, one of the men who was there protesting outside the police station that night, said this. His name is Safraz. And Safraz, viewers, was there witness to the attack on the police. Now, on Times Now's candid camera, he tells you how this entire mob came to assemble outside the police station and chant this murderous slogan. Listen first to Safraz.
करीब 10:10 को एक व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर एक आवाज़ आई थी, यानी कि इंडी पंप दरगाह के पास एक लड़के को गिरफ्तार किया गया है, आप सब लोग उधर आ जाइए।
ये ऑडियो फाइल? हाँ।
तो वो हिसाब से पब्लिक आ गई उधर।
अच्छा, तो व्हाट्सएप के जरिए मैसेजेस गया था?
हाँ, ऑडियो मैसेज जिसके पास MIM का ग्रुप होगा, चाहे पर्सनल ग्रुप होगा, वो ग्रुपों में आया हुआ है।
अच्छा, ग्रुप में
एक ग्रुप में आएगा तो 250 लोग रहेंगे, ये 150 रहेंगे, 100 लोग रहेंगे। मस्जिद के बाहर आएंगे तो वो देख लेंगे ना पूरे लोग भी, क्या ये ग्रुप में क्या आया, भाई देखेंगे, ठहर करके देखते हो, वो देख के लोग आ गए।
तो मैसेजेस ग्रुप में आए थे, ऑडियो मैसेज थे, वो फिर डिलीट हो गए क्या मैसेजेस?
हाँ, वो 2 या 3 दिन के बाद में ऑल डिलीट हो गए।
तो आपने जब सर्कल इंस्पेक्टर को देखा तो अंदर गए पुलिस स्टेशन में, हाँ, और सर्कल इंस्पेक्टर की हालत क्या थी?
इधर खून जा रहा था बहुत।
तो सर्कल इंस्पेक्टर साहब जिस वैन में, पुलिस वैन में आ रहे थे, उसी पर पथरा हुआ?
हाँ।
So viewers, there are two major revelations. Number one, a call to assemble, a summons was issued through an audio message which landed in those with a large number of followers, landed in the WhatsApp boxes, groups, and from there they disseminated across to hundreds of people. The people who received these messages were also members of the AIMIM, a party run by Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi. Sarfraz also explains how wounded policemen who had been set upon were lying there crying out for help. They said that, look, if we are taken to hospital in our own vehicles, we will be butchered because they're attacking our vehicles. Please take us. Sarfraz explains how the mob, including AIMIM netas, was mobilized. Now, watch the diabolical cover-up. Those who stood outside chanting murderous chants and attacking the police knew fully well that what they were doing was unlawful and likely to get them into trouble with the law. Now listen to this audio posted in a WhatsApp group created to mobilize rioters, where the person can be heard asking the rioters to delete all videos of the riots, of the slogans, including this audio message, so that the police would not be able to trace and punish them for rioting. Listen to this call for cover-up.
ये जो भी वीडियोस है इनको आगे शेयर मत कीजिएगा, क्योंकि इसी से जो है नहीं कल आने वाले दिन में प्रूफ वगैरह बनता, उसके अंदर जो भी मुसलमान शरीक रहते हैं उनको जो है टारगेट करके फिर उनके घरों से उठाया जाता, फिर उनको जो है जेल वगैरह, ऐसी जो भी वीडियोस है उनको आगे शेयर मत कीजिए, ठीक है। आज जो भी हुआ तो उस चीज़ के बारे में इंशाल्लाह ताला कल लीगली प्रोसीजर्स देखा जाएगा, लिहाजा ये जो भी वीडियोस वगैरह है लाठीचार्ज वेस वगैरह इनको आगे शेयर मत कीजिएगा।
Now watch another set of WhatsApp chats where the members are discussing the riots. One of them gives an open call to arms. So now, viewers, you have a call to action, you have a call to cover up, and now you have a call to arms. And let me take you through. What does these WhatsApp say? April 16th, 2022. This is when they all are communicating on this group. 10:38 p.m. video of violence is uploaded into this group. At 10:57, क्या हो रहा है भाई? What's happening here? Is a message. जंग की तैयारी. Preparation for a war. कौन सा जंग भाई? At 10:59. Knife, brothers, knife. Jambaya brothers. Knife. So viewers, this is how a call to arms was also issued. This is all happening on the 16th at the time when a WhatsApp video was uploaded. Clearly instigation, clearly proof of mobilization. Another audio shows how rioters were speaking to each other while they were fleeing the riot site. Listen to this.
क्या भी हुआ है?
ये लाठीचार्ज हो रहा है अब।
हैं?
लाठीचार्ज करने के हिसाब में आ रहा।
लाठीचार्ज करने के हिसाब में आ रहा है। अभी तुम्हें वहाँ चाहिए फतेह शाह में?
निकले हम वहाँ से।
निकले। क्या हुआ?
जाके देखला गुस्ताखी कराया करते बा।
एकला।
मक्का मदीने के ऊपर।
मक्का मदीना। हाँ।
हाँ। ये कराया करते बा।
वहाँ का वहाँ के फतेह शाह पास ही के?
ये वहाँ ने आनंदनगर में ये कराया करते हैं, ले गए थे क्या? पकड़े गए थे।
हाँ।
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 वो से सब जने जमा हुए थे वहाँ।
हाँ।
लाठीचार्ज करने के हिसाब में दिख रहा।
अभी नहीं हुआ लाठीचार्ज।
ए वी आर अब मैं आते टाइम जरा झलक दिखला हो ना।
हाँ।
अभी हुआ
रन दे लो। हाँ मब्बा वो पूछना अगर को भी सुना पूछना अगर लगा था अरे को।
हाँ ठीक। हाँ।
Now viewers, let me tell you that there were many Hubballis planned. It was supposed to unfold over a number of days. How do we know this? Because we've accessed another audio clip. All of these are under investigation, viewers. All these audio clips. So we are not cooking anything up. We have been able to access all of this from our sources. And what does this audio clip purport to do? It urges the rioters now to stay at home. Don't come out. Videos will end up as evidence for cops in the future. Stay at home. Do not come out. Make sure that whatever happened yesterday no doubt was wrong. So cancel all your plans and for God's sake, stay at home. It's just one day. The situation out there is bad. Stay safe. We have to stay home and protect our women and children. Anything can happen. Brothers, cancel your plans and stay at home. Just do not go out and exit your homes. Listen to this.
कि बोले तो कल रात को जो भी हादसा हुबली के अंदर हुआ बहुत गलत हुआ, नहीं होने का था, लेकिन आज इतवार का दिन कुछ भी हो सकता। हमारे घर के माँ भाना बुज़ुर्ग जो भी बाज़ार जाने का प्लान कर को है उन सब का प्लान कैंसिल करो, अपने घर में रहो। और सभी भाइयों से गुजारिश कर रहा हूँ अपने घर में रहो। कल का एक दिन जो भी तुम्हारे पर्सनल प्लान है सब कैंसिल करो, कल का एक दिन घर में रहो, क्योंकि हमारे घर की, हमारे औरतों की, हमारे बच्चों की हिफाजत हमने खुद करना। कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता माहौल के हिसाब से। खुदा ना खास्ता मार्केट को जाने के बाद में कुछ भी गलत हुआ तो समझना ज़रूरी है, कुछ भी हो सकता। एक दिन बाज़ार को नको जो, हालत बहुत बुरे है हुबली धोरड़ के। अल्लाह के वास्ते बोल दूँ, एक दिन घर में रहो।
Viewers, they took this very seriously. You're seeing another WhatsApp group, a group in which these messages had landed, urging people on that group to delete all messages that could incriminate them, all audio files that could incriminate them. Now, a large number of these WhatsApp groups we have been able to peer into. And in these groups, viewers, the primary mode of communicating was through audio files. So they were not writing so much as they were dropping audio messages. And very expeditiously and expediently, they start deleting these messages. And you can see hasty exit 7 days after the riots when Times Now began to expose the truth. Now, viewers, look at how the narrative has moved. At the very beginning, they denied that Sartan Se Juda slogans, which they themselves now admit were wrong, were bad, were ever issued. Then they said, we didn't assemble outside the police station to harm anybody. That myth now lies shattered. Then they, viewers, denied any political links. That myth now lies shattered. Then they went on to say it was spontaneous. That link now lies shattered. That claim completely shattered. This was all planned. They all came there. They all knew what they wanted to do, bring knives, etc. It was all orchestrated. Now, viewers, in my hand is a letter that 100 or so bureaucrats have written to the Prime Minister, asking him to call out hate. These people are saying, viewers, that the hate in this country flows from one side. Let me read out what this letter says. We are witnessing a frenzy of hate-filled destruction in the country where at the sacrificial altar are not just Muslims and members of other minority communities, but the Constitution itself. How what we have just established, viewers, flies in the face of this disinformation, disingenuous disinformation campaign. I want to go first straight across to Imran, who has broken this story. Imran, first of all, I know this has been very tough for you. You have been trying to report this over the last few days. You have been in situations where you have been threatened, asked to vacate localities that certain groups claimed as their own. And therefore, I today really thank you for having been able to piece together what is a very, very serious precedent setting situation. I want you to first tell us, what are the three basic takeaways?
Well, Rahul has very clearly said that this was, already there was a plan was as such to create some kind of issue in this particular area. And there was, what we're getting to know from that is that there's also political one-upmanship happening between Congress and AIM. AIM had recently one corporators who had just left for Congress and joined AIM. And they wanted to, what we're getting to know is that become much more popular than the old Congress leadership there. Second, at the spot where it happened, there it is very stone pelting happened. There was a call given to people to come and join the protest there. As earlier people said, it was spontaneous, but during the some claim that it was spontaneous, but during the protest there was a call sent out through WhatsApp messages to people to come and join the protest. 3, Three, there was, after that the protest happened, there was an attempt to cover up, and that's attempts which is made, and we can see in the WhatsApp groups, which are all the messages, audio messages coming there. Now, it is all a matter of under investigation. The Chief Minister has said there is much more bigger conspiracy, which the current police department is very tight-lipped about it, not revealing much more details. We spoke to the commissioner. He said that they are in the process of unraveling the entire conspiracy. So we have wait and see what the cops come up with, the entire bigger conspiracy, what they're taking away from. But this is the issue which rocked the State Assembly, where opposition targeted the government, said that what happened was not right, but innocents are being picked up, and some even went on to say, to the extent that like AMM State President said, in fact, the stone was pelted by the BJP activists themselves. This is what AMM State President had claimed, but audio message shows other story, other side of the story here.
So viewers, here we're going to attack. Thank you very much, Imran. Do take care. I know that you're going to face now threats like you have in public. And we're here with you, of course. Thank you very much for breaking this story, for presenting the facts in an unfiltered, unadulterated fashion. Now, viewers, let's open this up. And I want to first begin with Dr. Anand Ranganathan, Dr. Abdul Manan, National Spokesperson of the MIM, Sanju Verma also here with us, Royden Roach. Dr. Ranganathan, this is scary, to say the least.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to all my fellow panelists. I think what you've done, you, Rahul, and Imran, and Times Now, is essentially laid bare the anatomy of a riot, if I can put it in those words. But I also condemn you for that, because in one stroke, you and Times Now have totally exposed I'm afraid...
Yeah, no, go ahead. We can hear you. We can hear you, Doctor. Okay, we're having a few problems there. Clearly making a statement there. But viewers, fundamentally, what do we know? We know that an attempt to cover up, an attempt to deflect, and an attempt to deny, all exposed. Letters are, of course, written singularly by ex-bureaucrats, etc., claiming that hate in this country is one-sided. But that narrative today lies shattered. Dr. Ranganathan, you're back with us. Yes.
Yes, as I was saying, Rahul, I also condemn you and Times Now for exposing this rampant, prevalent propaganda right now amongst many Indian journalists, as well as so-called human rights activists, as well as foreign publications, that there is a genocide happening against Muslims in India right now. यहाँ तो उल्टी गंगा बह रही है. मतलब the kind of things you've exposed, it makes it amply clear that it is the other way around. But here, can I also make a couple of important points? Because, of course, not harping again, time and again on what I've been saying for a very long time concerning this particular religion, as well as, the way that we effortlessly step back from being critical. The fact of the matter is that there are two entities that believe in punishment for Gustakh-e Rasool. Two entities. One is the Muslim Ummah, and the other is the government. Now, 1.8 billion Muslims are not answerable to me. They believe in what they believe. They have a right to do so. But at least the government is answerable to me, because as a citizen, I have a role in electing that government. So I have to ask the government, Rahul, and this is a little bit away, transgressing from your wonderful investigation. I have to ask, on what basis have they arrested that Hindu man who pushed this WhatsApp thing, which was not even Gustakh-e Rasool? The WhatsApp was of a saffron flag hoisted atop a mosque. It was not Gustakhi of Prophet Muhammad. So on what basis has the state arrested? Now, number two, and this is very important, when the state can overlook the fact that 2 billion people believe that Hindus or polytheists are the worst of creatures, the state doesn't arrest 2 billion people. It overlooks that fact, turns a blind eye. But someone who has pushed this WhatsApp forward, where a saffron flag is atop a mosque, is arrested Number two, I want to ask, do you remember the Ayodhya judgment, Rahul? On the day the Supreme Court gave 5-0 Ayodhya judgment in the favor of the Hindus, do you know what a prominent leftist magazine did? It covered or it turned the dome of Supreme Court into saffron, i.e. alleging that this Supreme Court dome is like the Babri Masjid itself. Were any arrests made? Was anything done? No. So in the name of secularism, in the name of appeasement, it is a blatant unequal application of law. We must condemn this, because what is hate and what isn't is being applied by the government to arrest, I would say, innocent Hindus.
Look, as always, the truth has a habit of seeping up through the cracks, and in this particular case it has. My question remains the same. Many people have points of view. We can ask the BJP what they've done. They list the number of arrests that have been made. They'll say that 4 IIM spokespeople or netas, or call them what you want to, have been arrested from the ground. We've cracked down, etc., etc. But the fundamental point here is, viewers, that this particular expose now pokes a massive hole in this huge campaign of calumny. And what is that campaign? And viewers, it's very distressing when the Hindu faith, when Hindus themselves are all lumped together as some bigots. We are reduced to what we are not. No one is writing letters about this. Nobody. First, I want to ask Royden Roach, Royden Roach, why? Why no letters? Calling upon peace. Why constant campaigns to vilify one particular faith all the time, link it to violence, when you know that this is not the truth? When you have evidence presented time after time that in this country no one has full ownership over hate. You know this. Why?
Well, good evening, Rahul, and very good evening to all the other panelists. The first thing, Rahul, I would like to make some clarification over here. When we see nobody in the country, let it be any faith, any religion, they are not into violence. There are some people who are into it, which are trying to tarnish the entire community. So this is what I don't favor at all. The main aspect is, see, the audio clips played by you is clearly saying that they are costing the Muslims, because there are certain Muslims being blamed for it, they are costing them to take precautions and not to go out to protect themselves.
Oh,
so I
God.
don't see...
Mr. Roach, what are you, what kind tonight, please, Mr. Roach, please. There is a whole sequence to this. And if you choose to interpret this in a different manner, despite what we have just played out in sequential order, then, sir, you are providing an alibi for hate, which makes you equally culpable in this machination. And this is what I am saying, viewers. It is this selective representation that is emboldening hate, because one particular community has now realized that they're going to get away with anything and everything.
I don't think, Rahul, I don't think at all. See, it is each one interpretation how they look at the
no
audio.
Interpretation, sir. There is a sequence. You are interpreting. This is a certitude.
I am not interpreting now. This is what I understood, Rahul.
They are saying, they paraphrase even the last conversation. No, don't understand, don't misunderstand. No one is trying to mislead you. Your own refusal, your thick blinkers are forcing you into not accepting the truth, Mr. Roach. You don't want to because it doesn't fit your narrative. You have earned your spurs spewing venom against one particular community. If you now revise your stand, you're not going to be invited to your seminars and all your little think tank groups, and you perhaps won't get a ticket to wherever to speak, to depose. You won't be held up as a poster boy of integration. That's the problem. Why don't you just admit it? Tomorrow your WhatsApps will be out. Then there'll be a problem.
Rahul, as I said, Let us look at the broader picture of it. Okay, there's an investigation going to happen. You have exposed something. Okay, from your side, you have done the best job you can. Let us investigate it and let us come out with it.
Okay.
Television debating on this issue.
No, now you've shifted the goalpost further. Let the investigations. Of course, the investigations will happen, sir. But no one waits for investigations in the ecosystem to write the letters. I think, let me bring in Sanju Verma of the BJP and Dr. Abdul Manan of the AIMM. Sanju Verma, look, I think Dr. Ranganathan has hit it on its head. The action also on the state, on the part of the state, is selective. Wide berth is given. You self-censor yourself from acting against violators from one particular community because you yourself are intimidated. That is what he's saying. Ms. Verma.
Rahul, yes, Rahul, I completely disagree with what Anand Ranganathan has to say. I think you can fault the Karnataka dispensation for many things, but certainly not for getting intimidated. I think the manner in which the hijab controversy was resolved while the judgment came from the court, let's not forget the Basavaraj Bommai government stood its ground despite being intimidated by the pro-hijab lobby and the so-called Lutyens, Lashkar, Hathras lobby. I can continue to hear an echo sound. I don't know if I am audible.
You're audible, clearly audible. Please speak. We'll just fix it. Go ahead, Ms. Verma.
Okay, thank you. So basically, point number one, I think the job of the state is to ensure law and order. And let's be very fair, you preempted me, Rahul, but the fact remains that more than 146 people have been arrested, including the key accused in this case, which is Dada Peer of IMIM, Nazir Ahmed of IMIM, Irfan of IMIM, Wasim Pathan of IMIM, Mazar Sharif of IMIM. So to say that, why was a Hindu lad Abhishek arrested? Let's not second guess the judiciary. Anand Ranganathan said, the state should not have arrested this Hindu lad. The police is doing its job, Rahul. I think in the age of 24/7 social media, which scrutinizes just about everything and has its own advantages, the one thing that comes as a disadvantage, the flip side of the coin is that we want, instant 2-minute Maggie noodle kind of justice, which does not happen. Justice delayed is justice denied, justice hurried is justice buried. Let the Karnataka State Police do its job without being scrutinized unfairly. The most important thing is this. You used 3 very important words in your opening statements, Rahul. You said distract, deflect, damage. And I think you're absolutely right. You've hit the nail on the head. There is this constant effort on the part of a certain minority community to deflect attention from their wrongdoings, to damage the social fabric, and to distract the authorities from what they should be doing. But Karnataka State Police has chosen not to be distracted. I would add one more D to deflect, distract, and damage, and that is demography. If you see the entire sequence of events, the fact is that this entire incident has happened in 3 districts, Hubballi, Dharwad, and Belgavi, where the number of Muslims is more than 90,000, and the percentage is anywhere between 20 to 25%. And I think IMIM is doing this along with the SDPI, which I'm told is also involved, because ahead of the 2023 Karnataka Assembly polls, you have the Taluka polls and the Panchayat polls. Both IMIM and the SDPI in the last local body elections won some half a dozen seats.
Okay.
So they are trying to polarize the vote bank and play that narrative, which simply seems to have collapsed with the state police acting with alacrity. I just have to say this, I will end very fast, that rather than second guessing our state police force when they're doing their job, if you can't pat them on their back, don't hit them with brickbats.
Okay.
What you need to ask is, Why is it that there are people who are willing to give intellectual cover fire? You want to discuss the Pehlu Khans of the world, the Junaid Khans and the Tabrez Ansaris ad nauseum for months together, but you do not want to discuss a Kamlesh Tiwari. You do not want to discuss what happened in Karoli. When I say you, I don't mean Rahul Shivshankar.
I have touched upon
the mainstream media barring times now.
Yes, I've touched upon this selectivity displayed by a bunch of influencers. You know, there were, in the latest instance, more than 100 civil servants written to the Prime Minister. But Dr. Abdul Manan, I want to ask you this question straight off. Asaduddin Owaisi, who we spoke to on phone, his only comment on this story has been very simply this: AIMM leaders have been arrested. In our view, they are innocent. Owaisi साहब कहते हैं कि बेकसूर हैं. अरेस्ट इनको इसलिए किया गया है क्योंकि वहां पर बीजेपी की सरकार है और वो मुसलमानों को तंग करना चाहती है. डॉक्टर मनन, आज के बाद क्या आप अपना हाथ अपने दिल पर रख के कह सकते हैं कि व्हाट अवैसी साहब वो सेइंग, जो अवैसी साहब कह रहे हैं वो सच है? डॉक्टर मनन, आपने खुद ही ऑडियो सुन लिया है जहां पर कबूल करा जा रहा है कि हम गलत थे, ये जो हमने किया है वो गलत है.
देखिए, वो इसी साहब ने जो कहा वो 100% सही है. ऑडियो अभी जो है इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बुनियाद पे पता चलेगा कि ये सब स्टोरी और ये सब ऑडियो वो व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस कौन दे रहा है. सारी दुनिया जानती है और सारा इतिहास बता रहा है कि कौन लोग इस देश में हेट्रेड फैला रहे हैं. पहले जो पहल शुरू हुआ, पहले देखना होगा आपको कि पहल किसने किया. पहल तो अभिषेक नाम के आदमी ने किया जिसका ताल्लुक राम सेना से है और जो
अरेस्ट हो गया था. डॉक्टर मनन साहब, उनका अरेस्ट हो गया था, पुलिस ने उनको गिरफ्तार किया था. मेरी बात सुनिए डॉक्टर मनन, प्लीज लिसन टू मी. देखिए, मैं आपसे बहस नहीं करूंगा, तथ्यों पर आप बात कीजिए. मेरी बात सुनिए डॉक्टर मनन.
पूरी बात तो सुने.
नहीं, आप क्योंकि आप झूठ बोल रहे हैं, आप झूठ बोल रहे हैं.
जितना आप
देखिए ये
ना इन्वेस्टिगेशन में, उतना आपको ये पता लगाना चाहिए कि ये जो है जो भगवा ध्वज लगाया गया पोस्ट पर, क्रिएट किया गया अभिषेक के द्वारा, वो किसकी साजिश थी, किसकी कॉन्स्पायरेसी थी? ये बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट के साथ कॉन्स्पायरेसी थी और ये संघ परिवार की कॉन्स्पायरेसी थी.
डॉक्टर मनन, मेरी बात सुनिए आप. अगर ये बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट की साजिश थी, डॉक्टर मनन एक मिनट, आप हमारी भी बात सुन लीजिए. आप जो कह रहे हैं ना, लॉजिकल नहीं है. अगर ये बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट की, अच्छा आप सुनिए तो, आप सुनिए तो, अगर आप बहस करेंगे और किसी के, व्हेन यू स्पीक ओवर समबडी एल्स इट बिकम्स डिफिकल्ट. तो मेरी बात तो सुन लीजिए, प्रार्थना है आपसे. आप कह रहे हैं कि भैया ये एक पपेट था बीजेपी सरकार का, तो बीजेपी सरकार उसको गिरफ्तार क्यों कर रही है?
बीजेपी सरकार अंडर प्रेशर गिरफ्तार किया.
हाँ, अंडर प्रेशर. आप कभी कहते हैं कि बीजेपी सरकार पे कोई प्रेशर नहीं है, वो अपनी मनमानी करते हैं. अब आप कह रहे हैं प्रेशर. मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं. चलो ठीक है, चलो आप बिल्कुल अलाउ, आप इन्वॉल्व नहीं है. आप क्या ये जो स्लोगन्स हैं इसकी निंदा तो करेंगे डॉक्टर मनन? सरतन से जुदा मैं चला दूं आपके लिए, आप सुन भी लीजिए. आप बस सीधा कह दीजिए कि ये जो स्लोगन है ये गलत है. जिन लोगों ने,
पता नहीं किसके द्वारा लगाया गया.
नहीं, किसके द्वारा क्या भैया, आपके आदमी खुद ही वहां बोल रहे हैं कि हम.
लेकिन आप जो स्लोगन लगाते हो,
नहीं, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूं कि आप, चलो चलिए किसी और को ऑडियो, आप इस ऑडियो को इंडोर्स करते हैं या नहीं करते? सीधा क्वेश्चन.
आप जो नारा लगाते हो कि मियां और डैश डैश डैश, आप रामनवमी के जुलूस में मुसलमानों को गालियां,
अरे भाई वो कंडेम, वो कौन, नहीं वो सब कंडेम करते हैं.
झंडा लगाते हो.
अरे भाई वो आप क्या कर रहे हैं सर? देखिए डॉक्टर मनन साहब, डॉक्टर मनन साहब, देखिए आपको इतनी तकलीफ हो रही है. मैं तो कहता हूं कि जो भी नफरत के, नो whoever makes statements, hate statements, whoever issues a hate speech, throw them into jail and make sure that they don't come out again. For as long as it takes. For as long as it takes. But Dr. Manan, tonight, he calls himself a doctor, viewers. He cannot bring himself to swallow the bitter pill, which is that there is intolerance. It is being spewed by the side that he bats for, and he cannot bring himself to condemn it. This is the problem. Dr. Ranganathan raising his hand. Yes.
No, very quickly, Dr. Manan belongs to a party, Rahul, whose 3 legislators were arrested for threatening to behead Taslima Nasreen. They attacked her viciously and nearly killed her in Hyderabad Literary Festival. These are the same people who demanded the beheading of Kamlesh Tiwari and then celebrated when Kamlesh Tiwari was beheaded. But that's not the point. The point is hate speech. So here, with due respect, I want to ask Dr. Manan. He's a doctor, celebrated doctor. I want to ask him, Dr. Manan, you are talking of hate speech. With respect, please answer करिए. अगर मैं कहूं कि Muslims are the worst of creatures, am I indulging in hate speech? Yes or no, sir?
He's gone. He left the scene. Dr. Manan has left. 2 doctors asking questions of each other. One clearly didn't feel well enough to answer them. Anyhow, viewers, the point is, what we have exposed tonight is bigotry. There's no doubt about it. It's bigotry. Now, you can camouflage it in hurt sentiment, what have you. These individuals need to be jailed. The individuals behind this who are there have been identified, have been placed. I only hope that this selective calling out of hate ends, because that is really what is creating the divide in this country, because one community believes it is constantly under attack. There is a wall of distrust that is building, and it is creating fissures, and it is all being done to serve one particular political ends to a mean. If you get that answer, viewers, you will understand where we are all coming from. I want to move on